become successful in life, young man, he said, number one, you got to change your mindset. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number two, practice OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. I found that out. I left all my broke friends. I say, y'all gotta go. Because I used to be so broke, I'd pass the bank and trip the alarm, you know? And the third thing he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
All right, Tim. So I found that speech on TikTok under a motivational page I was watching, and I was thinking about it, and I heard that and I saved the video because I thought, wow, that's like so powerful. Some of those statements in there are so powerful. And I have to agree that all three things are pretty accurate, I would say.
Yeah, I hesitated for a moment on the quality people one, right? Because that one gives you a little bit pause, like, wait a minute, I can't be around people that might need me. But then you forget about his opening line of saying this, and it's about needing a change, right? So if you're needing a change, well, then yeah, you do have to change something. And then when you get yourself right, that's when you can help other people.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way of looking at it.
It's not saying I'm not hanging out with you and I don't like anybody that's not the same as me or doesn't earn as much money with me. It's saying right now in this moment, I need something different. I need something better. So I actually kind of like that. That is, and it's something you hear a lot, like in your career. You know, you when you look for a mentor or you look for I don't want to call friends, but acquaintances, people that you're going to look to for help, you always look at who you want to become, or for those that you want to become, not for what you've already been.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought when I first heard it, I thought, there's a time in everybody's life where you kind of go through life and you learn different things. You become a man or a woman or whatever, however you want to state it. And you're around different types of people. And this has always been something that I think for all of us, we've all had this happen, maybe, I would assume, but I'm guessing here. So, but you go through life and you get into these sections of people. But the thing about people is everybody has their own agenda on what they want to do. And my point in that is, like, when you're young, you get put into these different groups of people, and you have to choose which group do you want to go forward with in life, because some of them are going to be mischief and breaking things and egging houses and stuff like that. Other ones are going to be studying and trying to go to college. Other ones are going to. So I took it as you're not going to, this is like you said, this isn't the time you're changing people. This is the time you're deciding on the path that you want to go. And when you choose that right path, what we all deem as the right path, right? Everybody's different, but it sounded like to me in the speech, he's saying I had to choose the right path and choose the right group of people to be with, because, I feel like growing up, I could have absolutely hung out with a different crowd of people. Now, does that mean I would have been a worse person? I don't think so. But
I'm just kidding. No, but it's true. I mean, and that's when you think about, friendships and how friendships develop and how lifelong friendships develop. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. When things become always one-sided, that's when drama, tension, that those different emotions come into play, where, things don't last. And I think that happens, I think it's when you're looking for somebody to mentor you in a career. I think you look at that towards friendships. I think you look at that towards relationships. And I think you look at that with your kids as well. I mean, you look at, relationship, me and my wife, if we didn't better each other, if I didn't respect her and she didn't respect me, and we didn't respect each other and where we're at and who we are, and she didn't make me a better person and I didn't try and make her a better person, it just wouldn't work out there. You don't have a leg to stand on at that point.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And then also with your own kids, I mean, you think about, my kids, I'm very aware of who they hang out with and the type of people that they hang out with. And I'm very protective of that. If I get a bad sense or I get a bad, I don't know, picture in my mind of what they're doing, then yeah, that's not going to happen, or I'm not going to allow it, because I want good influences. And I think that's really at the heart of it, what it is. It's about good, positive influences than anything else.
Yeah, influence is huge. That's definitely a huge part of life. And, like you said, y- y- the thing is, you're trying to give, in my mind at least, you're trying to give your kids I don't want to say an advantage, right? But my point is like you do want them to have an advantage of, learning now how to study for school, learning now how to treat elders, learning now how to treat God or whatever. You want them to learn that now so that when they're older, this is common sense to them, right?
Yeah.
This is normal, right?
It
You know what I mean? Like
the
you don't
older
yell
you
at an
get, the
elder.
harder it is to change, I found.
That's what I was getting to. Just like how, I mean, it's been studies that have been proven that kids can learn music now easier than they'll ever learn it later in life, playing guitar, playing piano. It's just their minds are set for learning right now. So yeah, I agree 100% on that. What do you think of the last statement I thought was pretty powerful. And when I hear it over and over, I just think about, when you open your mouth, the world knows who you are, and I thought, man, that's like such a powerful statement. And you just don't think of it that way sometimes, but it's kind of incredible.
It's absolutely true, and it can be scary as hell if you're not secure in who you are.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I think
true.
I think that there's, sometimes I have an introvert around certain people because I don't feel like I have anything to add. I'm not smart enough, or whatever the case may be. So I sit back and I'm an observer rather than, a leader in those circumstances. But that is absolutely the truth. And in today's day and age, where it's so easy. I mean, look at us, right? I mean, we're recording our podcast series. We're telling the people who we are from the moment we open our mouth to the moment we stop recording and we post this, right? So you have to be confident in who you are. And I think that's a huge part of it. If you don't have a confidence in who you are, I think that's part of that change process. You have to surround yourself with people that are going to be a positive influence on you, that are going to help you have that confidence, feel important, learn all that kind of stuff, so that when you do open your mouth, you have confidence in what you're saying. And that's a large part of it to me, is confidence. Am I smart? No. I ain't talk that well sometimes, that's just the way that's just the way that it is. But I still feel that my voice can be heard. And in those moments where I don't know what to say or how to say it, I come back to time and time again. Well, maybe then I just shouldn't. And you don't always have to open your mouth and be heard in order to be heard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking about that. When you say confidence, it's like such a big deal. And I think that a lot of times, I think the biggest things and the biggest advice I could give any teenager or even adult, if you struggle with confidence and fear, is that confidence is based around being ready to lose and face the fact that you're not going to be the best. Like that's okay. Like I think people, they get into this scenario where they feel like, if I'm going to play basketball, I got to be in the NBA. You know what I mean? You don't need to be the best at anything. You can enjoy yourself. You can make friends. You can help. Actually, this is so funny that I was telling you earlier, I was watching the Kensington Live church thing. And so they have the broadcast, they do their service. This one was from Traverse City, Michigan. And Joel, who's the pastor, was talking about he had this ring, and the ring was from a basketball tournament when he played for one of the teams, and they ended up winning, and he got this ring, right, championship ring. And but he said, you know, I wore this ring. It was like wearing bling, and it was very exciting and all this. But at the end of the day, he's like, I didn't really play a single minute in the tournament. Like I was on the bench the whole time. He's like, so I kind of felt like I didn't deserve this ring. Like, why am I wearing this ring? I didn't go out there and win this tournament. And so for a while, he struggled with that um, motion of like, how do I deal with this? And so he ended up talking to the coach about it. And the coach told him, you do deserve the ring. And the reason you deserve the ring is not because you went out there and scored those baskets. It's because the motivation you provided here for this team to better themselves, to go out there and win that tournament. You helped them practice. You were against them. You gave them the hardest time you could. You put in all your might to make them better players, to get them ready for that tournament. And yeah, it's a team effort. It's not just the guys who scored the baskets. So I say that because it's an important lesson that you don't have to be the best to enjoy yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
anything is great.
No, that's again 100% on, because as you were talking about that, in my mind, I don't have a story like that to tell, or that I heard from somebody else. What my mind goes to is public speaking and getting up in front of people, or in a business environment, talking in front of large groups of people and things like that. Growing up back in high school and early college days, that was so fearful for me. I absolutely was terrified to talk to people. Um, and I was for a very long time. And I finally had a career in which I had to do that stuff. That was going to be mandatory for me to do.
Yep.
And out of that necessity, if you will, I learned that first and foremost, preparation is important. Having the right preparation is very, very important when it comes to overcoming that fear of opening your voice and being heard by others and respected by others. So what I used to do is I used to script out everything, right? Word for word. I wrote everything down, every exact thing that I was going to say. And that maybe I did that for the first couple of times, but then over time, what I realized by watching others, not necessarily from what I did, but by watching others, the people that I enjoyed listening to the most were the people that were the realest when they talked, meaning they weren't trying to persuade somebody into thinking that they weren't who they were. And I give you an example of, like, when somebody's talking to you and they mess up, right? Normal people, or somebody that is just trying to be prepared and just trying to say the words and isn't really confident in what they're saying, they're going to ignore it. They're going to feel stupid. It's going to affect how they're presenting, all that kind of stuff. Somebody that screws up, that is real, is going to acknowledge that. They're going to know, I know, I know. And if I know, right? You can see that I just screwed up. So people that go in front of others in a real tone, if they mess up, if they, something happens, just talk to people as a person. And I think that's the one thing that I've learned, is that in order to be a good presenter, you have to be you first. You can't try to be somebody else, because it's going to come across as a robot.
Yeah. No, 100% agree, Tim. That's actually, I'm going to take
it. I totally just messed up that whole message, by the way.
I might go back a step, because I'm going to say a lot of times, and like this is what you said is really important. But if we take it back before that moment, when you're saying you're preparing and all this stuff, one of the things I can say that is really important is, obviously you mentioned preparation and getting ready. That is 100% accurate. That is, like, that right there takes away a lot of fear, which is the word I was getting to. People have this thing of what if this, what if that, what if this. And so that's called fear. And that fear is what drives you to not do a lot of things in your life that you miss out on. And I want to say that you can't be scared of the what ifs. You have to look at, like, how can I do this? How do I achieve it? But being prepared takes away the fear, because now you are ready to rumble. You've done your research, you've studied, you've actually spoke out loud into a room by yourself about your script, what you're going to go over. But here's the biggest thing I would say to people, and I agree, Tim, this is a very big topic, is public speaking. So for me, it's a little different. What I did to achieve this is there was a couple things. Number one, I started playing music a long time ago, and I thought, I really want to play in front of a coffee shop. I want to be the next Dave Matthews. I'm going to do this. So I did 2 concerts. Starting, the first 2 were the worst 2 I've ever done, and very embarrassing. Even to watch the video now, it's extremely embarrassing for myself. But you know what?
Can we play one? Can you cut into a video? I'm expecting when this goes live that right now we cut into a video.
And Tim was at these concerts. They were backyard concerts that we did, me and some friends, but all my friends showed up to support, even though we sucked. We sucked really bad. And it was okay, because it was a growing thing, and everybody still supported me, even though I sucked, which was nice. It was a nice thing they did that. And, so moving into college, I had a little bit of, I was like, I had a little confidence, right? I could do this. So I started playing in college a little bit, and I got better. And then definitely in college, I could hold my own in a coffee shop or a bar or whatever. And that helped me a lot, because it wasn't really the speaking part I was doing in front of people. It was more the music, which still got me in front of people, and singing in front of people is very hard and it's very nerve-wracking. But at the same time, if you know the music, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but let's not let's not get too deep, because what really gave you the confidence was singing to those girls.
Yeah, that helps too, of course. You want to be cool. Everybody wants to feel cool and feel like they're the man, So of course it helps having that in college and the music. But anyway,
I joke, man. I joke, but you're absolutely right.
Going from that helped me a little bit going into work. Okay. And then so as I got into work, it was a little easier talking in front of people for sure. But what really drove me over the edge was when Tim and I made a decision on a different business thing we do together to do a YouTube video series. And that YouTube video series was a big change for me. So it was like, hey, how are we going to do this? Can I do this? Am I comfortable doing this? Am I comfortable with my friends and family and coworkers knowing I'm doing this business, this, whatever you want to call it, this internet, YouTube influencer stuff? And at first it was embarrassing. I don't want to say embarrassing, but people make comments like, "Oh, I saw your video," and because at the time in 2009, it was like not as normal as it is today. Today, everybody's got a YouTube
everybody's got a YouTube,
everybody's got a TikTok, everybody's got Instagram. So it's different than it was back then. But anyways, that talking in front of people on camera especially gave me a lot of confidence. And then going into meetings at my real job, it was so easy. Like I could go in there and I felt very confident. And one of the things I learned that I would share with anybody is that when you're speaking in front of a group at your work or a presentation in front of hundreds of people, don't be scared to not know the answer. This is the key. So if someone says to you,
100%, man,
how do you turn that car on, or how does that light go on? And you say, you know what? That's a great question. And I'm gonna have to get back to you because I don't know the answer offhand. I'm gonna have to ask some of the professionals, right? Because if like Tim said earlier, as long as you answer it truthfully, people won't lose disrespect for you instantly. And then they want to feel you're credible. So I feel that way. If I'm watching a speaker at Kensington, or I'm watching a TED Talk, if they try to BS an answer, you're going to know. That's all I'm saying. You don't want to BS anything. You always say, I don't know the answer, but I will get it for you. That's the exact response.
It's so funny that you say that, because when you were talking about your music and all that kind of stuff, that is the one thought that did pop into my head is, when you don't know the answer, the best thing to do is admit it. And that is one of the highlights of what I've learned in my career, presenting to other people and large groups of people, and even doing this stuff, is that people are going to know. They're going to read right through you when you're not being real in those moments. And if you just simply say, you know what, I don't know, but I'll find the answer out for you, and you have confidence in the fact that you can find the answer out, and then you follow up, because the second part of that is following up. It's not just saying it, it's actually doing it after the fact. But when you can follow up with it and get them the correct answer, that right there just gives you instant credibility from that point forward, where they're going to use you as a sounding board. What do you think about this? Well, I don't really know. Let me get back to you on it. And that's, at the end of the day, it's kind of funny, because my whole career building up, to where I'm at now, and my career's not over by any means, but just where I'm at right now, I word for word, in my interviews, in order to get where I'm at, people ask me about me and who you are and what you do and why you want this job. And my response to that is, listen, I want a career. I want to be the person that people come to for questions. Not that I'm going to have all the answers, but I want to be the guy that people come to, that they look for answers from. That to me is a successful career.
Yeah. Yeah. And also in interviews, I was thinking about interviews and you said that, and I thought, how many interviews have I been on that I haven't gotten a job? And there's definitely some. Everybody has some, but I would say if I interviewed 30 times, I probably didn't get the job 10 of those times out of the 30. But I would suggest that in interviews are a great example of
how to handle stress
under pressure. in interviews, I would say I apply these same things to interviews. When I go in an interview, if I don't know something, I'm straight up that I don't know the answer. I'll say, if they're like, hey, how did you use this blah, blah system, this AFARS or whatever it is, right? When you're in this industry, and I'll be like, I didn't really do much of that in my industry, so I apologize, but I'll look into it. And if I remember anything, I can email you about it. I'll just completely skip the question, and it might sound crazy, but for the most part, I think once you build that respect to the person across you, that you're not lying, you're not BSing them, you're going to get in. I mean, it's pretty simple. As long as you can, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but if you build that relationship, you're on their trust, and they're going to feel differently about how they're asking you the questions and your answers. And they're going to start feeling like, all right, well, this guy's truthfully answering me, right? No matter what, whether I fit the mold or not.
The people hiring you are not going to hire you if they don't trust you. If they feel that you're just saying words to say words and telling them what they want to hear, they don't want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear you and who you are. The whole interview is about, I mean, they can see your experience on a piece of paper, right? Unless it's a very technical job or you need very technical skills and that kind of thing. But they can see your experience on that piece of paper. The real question is who you are. Are you going to fit here? And no, I can tell you right now, there's not a person that I know in any reputable form, any professional form, that is going to hire somebody that they feel is not going to be reliable and truthful.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing is, with those, with interviews, when you're interviewing for jobs, is that you should always have examples ready of different situations, because they're going to ask you like, oh, did you ever have a tough situation and how did you handle it? So those are situations where you should already be ready to go in your mind with a situation you had, how you resolved it. Then they're going to ask you things like, do you ever have a situation where, you needed to hit a target and you didn't hit it? What did you do? Things like that, where they were looking for steps. Like, how did you do? One time I went to an interview and they asked me, and this is for supply chain. They asked me, they actually literally, the guy, see if I have one here. I guess it doesn't really matter what I grab. I was hoping I had a pen in here, but I guess I don't. So I'll take these blue glasses. So he took out a pen basically, and he said, tell me how you would buy this. And so I strategically, said, well, each of the arms comes off. I buy those as a pair. I take the bolts out. I buy those as an assembly because there's so many bolts, right? But I've done supply chain, so I knew how to do it. And then I go from there. But that's how. But that's what I'm saying. They could get detailed on how, hey, tell me how you would do this or whatever, and want a true example. Yeah. The answer, though, is a lot more deeper in that, because what they're looking for is, how am I going to get it to the location? How much did it cost? How did I learn to ship it? Did I competitively bid it? Things like that.
Well, and I feel a lot of times when those scenarios have come up, and I'm in a completely different line of work than you are. So my line of questioning, although very similar, is just different from that aspect. And at the end of the day, what people are looking for is not that you necessarily know the answer. It's that you know how to get the answer, right? It's not that you can problem solve right there on the spot. It's that you have the thought process and the steps and the maturity down, that you know how to get to the end result and work your way through it one step at a time in a logical manner that everybody can understand. So it's at the end of the day, to me, those types of questions are my demonstration of my understanding of problem solving, and problem solving through moral leadership, meaning that you're not skipping steps, you're not cutting corners, you're following an ethical compass to get to a result that is amicable for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. What do you think these glasses, Tim? Looking good, huh?
Are they safety glasses?
These are blue glasses. They take out
those are like the ones for the computers and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if they help me though. I feel like they give me a headache though.
My wife wears those because she was getting headaches, and now she wears those full time, and she doesn't get headaches anymore from them.
Yeah, I probably should start wearing these. We bought a whole bunch of these right when the whole COVID thing hit, so that because we're gonna be on computers a lot more. And
yeah,
I always find that when I was working, going in every day, I always found that I'd stare at two screens all day, a lot of Excel files and stuff, and I always felt I was okay for the most part. But then we have a Starbucks where I work, and so for some reason, if I got Einstein coffee, I was really good to go. But if I got Starbucks and I got it, I don't know why, not all the time. I don't want to say all the time, but like every once in a while, I develop a migraine, and then I would get like tunnel vision at work. It was the worst thing, dude. And then you're just like struggling, right? Because you can't see anything. Have you ever had a migraine, Tim?
I don't know if it was a migraine or withdrawals from caffeine.
But
But
you ever
yeah,
had
I
it where
had
it's
some
tunnel
major
vision?
headaches. Yeah, where like you can't do anything at all. Like you get a
Do you
headache
see
and it
not
just
see
won't go
though?
away. But no, I don't. I mean like pressure in the back of my eye, but no, not where like I literally can't see. It's more like
Yeah.
your the back of your eye hurts and it's just
You
hard
know,
to
like
keep your
you know,
eyes
you
open.
look into the sun and you get like a blur that kind
Yeah,
of shows you can see it. You can keep seeing it.
yeah,
That's what this tunnel vision becomes. Like it's not. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a tunnel, but you see these blur spots in like half of your retina. So if you cover like half your eye, you see this on both sides, like this weird,
that's
and
weird.
it won't go away, and it's like just there, and you
But
can't
you
see.
self
So
real like you can actually realize this when it's going on too.
oh yeah, it's
That's
horrible. And
crazy.
that because you can't see. I just had to close my eyes like and try to take a nap because you can't, and your head's just pounding. It's the worst. And that would happen like not all the time, but like once a quarter at work, probably once a half quarter, whatever, once half a year. So maybe twice a year, whatever. But it's like the worst because once it starts to come, you can feel it coming because you start to feel a headache, getting growing. And then all of a sudden you can't see anything and you're like, I gotta get the heck out of here, But it's hard 'cause you can't drive, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
you gotta recognize it in the beginning to leave. I'll go home sick before because it lasts for hours. Like you'll sit 3-4 hours like that.
Yeah,
So
I
I
couldn't
sit first
imagine,
like
man.
this.
Like I get headaches from time to time, and they don't go away. I don't like taking like aspirin. I will if it gets really bad, and that's really the only time that it would go away when it's that bad. Um, but yeah, I mean they last for hours and it sucks. But no, I've never had that, man. I can honestly say that itself has never happened to me.
It's
So
bad. Yeah,
wear
and
those
if you don't
glasses,
drink a
huh?
lot of water, it can happen too. Well, obviously, it can happen to you because you've never had it. But for me, if I have to drink a lot of water, because then it helps not have them.
Yeah.
Like, but there's always that risk. And I drink a lot of coffee, so it's probably part of the issue is too much caffeine and then not enough water. I think that's kind of a scenario. But anyway,
Yeah, I got into a bad situation yesterday. I had coffee after 4 o'clock yesterday, which I usually don't do. I found that in my old age, it used to not affect me at all, right? I could drink coffee all day long and go to bed when I'm tired and be tired and actually get tired. Now, I'll drink I drank coffee yesterday around 4 o'clock. I was, it didn't like, kick me up, wake me up or anything like that. It just sounded good. I had a cup and all of a sudden I'm sitting there at 1 o'clock in the morning, still reading a book going, I can't even begin to go to sleep.
it's just so funny
So
because it's complete opposite for me. Like coffee does not, it helps me wake up a little bit, but it doesn't keep me up. And we did the what's it called? 20 and Me or whatever, the blood thing where you check your blood to see your
yeah, yeah,
heritage.
yeah.
21 and Me or whatever.
Yeah. I know what you're
So,
talking about.
so anyway, we did that, and it says in there specifically for my blood that I am not affected by caffeine. Like it says that, like you can drink all the caffeine you want in your blood, but it's not going to affect you like some people. It says
Yeah.
unlimited or something crazy. It was weird, but
That is
anyway,
interesting.
it also said I have elite bloodline for sports.
Did you really?
That's
good.
To find that clip.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the song
Too little, too late for that one, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So the song I want to talk about today, and I'm going to go through the song with you, Tim, because it's such a great song, and I kind of forgot about it for about 5 years, to be honest. I totally forgot about it until we started doing the show, and I thought, man, what are some songs I used to really love that really help motivate me and keep me going? But so this song, the band is called Caveman's Call, and I was turned on to this band by a friend of mine, Demiso, which I think you met Demiso.
I did, yeah.
South Africa. He was part of Kensington Church a long time ago when I met him. I actually went to Central. That's how we originally met him. This CD came out in 1999. It's called 40 Acres by Caveman's Call. It's a CD. This is not the song we're talking about today, but the other one, the song we're talking about today is called Faith in My Eyes. And I'll play a clip for you guys here real quick. But basically the song, it says, as I survey the ground for ants, looking for a place to sit and read, I'm reminded of the streets of my hometown, how they're much like this concrete that's worn beneath my feet. So it starts with this very kind of relaxed thing where this dude's looking to sit down on, what I mean, like and write music or maybe read the Bible. I don't know. They're definitely a Christian band. So
Yeah.
Anyhow, it says, and how I'm all wrapped up in my mother's face with a touch of my father just up around the eyes and the sound of my brother's laugh, but more wrapped up in what binds our ever distant lives. So obviously someone moved, but I don't know about that part, Tim. What do you think about that part? Because it seems like it's almost like you're talking about your features that are because of your parents.
Yeah, I think so. I mean that it's hard because like that's the thing about Caedmon's Call. Like when you and I used to listen to them back in the day as well, is that their lyrics are not necessarily straightforward, right? And I think that's why their songs were so good, is because you could get meaning out of it where there was no meaning, because you kind of just relate to those words to your own life. And yeah, I can absolutely see that out of those lyrics 100%.
And then he goes on to say, but if I must go, things I trust will be better off without me. But I don't want to know. Life is better off a mystery. And then this is the main part. So this is kind of the part this is the part I really want to talk about, because this is the part where the motivation is. But all these parts build up to this part, and it kind of gets you to this part, and you're like, oh, wow, okay. So then it says, so keep on coming, these lines on the road, and keep me responsible, be it a light on heavy load, and keep me guessing with these blessings in disguise. And I'll walk with grace my feet and faith in my eyes. So to me, this line is like literally mind blowing. This little chorus is just literally, so keep on coming, the lines on the road. So basically, the way I took this, Tim, is keep life going. Right, we're going to keep moving on.
I agree.
Keep me responsible, be it a light on heavy load. So give me the light, Lord, on this.
Let me see the road.
Yeah, on this pressure of life, and keep me guessing with these blessings in disguise. I mean, oh my gosh, what a line. Like all these little things that happen to you could be a blessing that you don't even know sometimes.
Yeah.
And they're disguised
in what you think is not a blessing. That's the mystery, right? To me, that's the mystery that he's talking about, is that what you think is not a blessing, what you see as a challenge or a stress or something bad that's coming, maybe a stop sign in this instance, that might absolutely be a blessing. You don't know. You have no way. And the only thing that you have is faith to know that what is in front of you, what you are seeing, you're supposed to see, you're supposed to be there, and you will get through it by your faith. That to me is just, it's absolutely amazing. I love these lyrics.
And this last line, like literally, I'm about to walk away. It's so mind blowing. But it like this song, like every time I hear it, it just literally refreshes me, restarts me, re-energizes me, and I just can't help but like just feel so overwhelmed by God and like just the whole concept. But this last line says, and I'll walk with grace my feet and faith my eyes. So to me, it just means I will walk this path, and I will walk it to the best of my ability with grace in my feet and faith in my eyes, meaning like I'll look at everything in a positive way, in the way God would have wanted it. I mean, it's literally mind blowing, that line to me.
Yeah, because everything that's happening to you is from him, right? I mean, that's the whole point of it. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, that's a very tough thing, is that when you're in the moment, it's easy to get mad at God. It's easy to get mad at others. It's easy to blame somebody else for what's happened or what you're going through. But at the end of the day, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. That is truth. And, the things that you're going through are going to, on the other side of it, and who knows when that's going to be. And that's part of the struggle in real world, is not knowing when those struggles are going to end, but you will come out of it more faithful, more loving, more positive, when you have the right glasses on to be able to see what's going on. And the fact that God is in that situation with you. You're not alone. You're not walking alone. You're walking with grace, with God, and by faith. So it's absolutely amazing.
So the song goes on to say, I mean, the song kind of indicates that it's somebody like him, maybe he moved to a different town or something, but like, I love, like you said, it's like so twisty, right? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about a move here? Or are we talking about how life has moved you in a different direction, right? Because of God or whatever. It goes on to say, we'll go through this whole thing because it's so good. It says, hometown weather is on TV, and I imagine the lives of people living there. And I'm curious if they imagine me, because they just want to leave. I wish that I could stay. And that line to me is the exact line that we talked about Ben Rector and what he talked about in the Christmas special, that he, you know, like he had to go travel the world, but really he just wanted to be home with his wife and kid. You know what I mean? Like, but that was his job, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that was one of the things that he wished he could say. And then it says, but I get turned around. I mistake some happiness for blessing, but I'm blessed as the poor. Still I judge, sorry, still I judge success by how I'm dressing. So that part was like, whoa, right? Like, cause you're right. Sometimes you feel like you're successful because you got money or you got, you know, all this stuff, but really, are you judging success based on that, or are you judging it based on happiness and feeling fulfilled in life, right?
It is absolutely amazing how that song kind of can stick with you throughout your whole life, because you have so many like different journeys, right, that you're taking in your own life, that song really can stick with you through any scenario that you're going through in life. I absolutely love it, man.
And it goes on to say, so I'll sing a song of my hometown. I'll breathe the air and walk the streets. Maybe find a place to sit and read. And the ants are welcome company. Oh my gosh. Oh, so good. It comes right back around to the ants in the beginning, guys.
Yeah.
It's like incredible. Like they brought it all the way back around to a full circle. And just the thought that the ants are welcome company, like the concept of someone sitting on a concrete, writing in this book or reading a Bible, whatever they're doing. And these ants that originally started, you know, they're welcome company, meaning like God's creation is like welcome no matter what around me at all times. Like it's just
Yeah.
amazing to me.
But I kind of see it in a sense too, like the ants are kind of the people, right? Like they're these small things that kind of walk around unnoticed at times, so little in only live for a very short period of time, which kind of is us in the grand scheme of things,
That's
right?
interesting.
So when he's
Wow.
sitting down in the end, to me, when he's sitting down, he's saying, you know what, God, you got this. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be with you and I'm going to live for you. And I'm going to welcome those ants. I'm going to welcome those people because that's me. You know, I'm going to read a book and I'm going to watch them because I'm part of that story.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like so, this is just the start of our Cayman's Call songs. There's a lot more songs they have that are just incredible, and I'm really excited to bring them to you guys because a lot of times you just never heard these songs, right? You're like, I didn't even knew
Yeah.
that song existed. And just wait till we get to 40 Acres. That's another amazing song they have. It just there's so many songs on this specific CD that are incredible. When I first was given it, it was given to me by Demiso a long time ago. And when I remember just starting from the beginning to the end and just listening, you know, this is back when CDs were CDs, right? So he
Yeah.
gave me the disc, I throw it in and just listen to the whole thing top to bottom. And then it started really opening something in me, and I didn't realize it at the time. And looking back on it, it helped me. It actually helped me. That music helped me with a glide path to from there to now on my feelings of God and Jesus and the way things work, because I just start to think about how nature is just so powerful and how are we ever going to really understand it all? The answer to me is no. I mean, it's so
Not here.
complex. There's no
Yeah.
scientist that's going to ever be able to figure out I mean, think of the space too. I mean, I'm not just saying what's on Earth, but just the whole vastness of everything. It's literally so detailed and so mathematical and scientific and way beyond what we can ever comprehend. It's just so wonderful
Right.
and beautiful and elegant. And when you
Well,
look at
that's
nature,
why that song reminds me of being the ant in that story. Because when you look at the vastness and the knowledge and everything like that, what are we but ants? I mean,
yeah,
really, we're so small. We live long lives according to us, but in the grand scheme of things,
tiny.
it's a blip, man, blip on the radar.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Tim, what song you got?
oh man, that I
Hard to top
I
that
don't.
one.
It's hard because there's so many good ones. You know what I'll do? I don't know if I want to do a song, but let me turn on a new band that I've been listening to called We the Kingdom. So they kind of interestingly enough popped up in my Facebook feed. And that's how I kind of first listened to him. And I don't think, first of all, I don't think that ever would have happened if I didn't shut off the news, if I didn't shut off all this other stuff that's wasting my time and bringing me negative thoughts. And, you know, I think I said, you know, a couple podcasts ago that in my own life, I had to get rid of all the negativity and start with positivity. And Facebook, you know, everybody's on it probably more than they should. And one of the things that I had to do was, really become more positive with what I'm feeding into my eyes and reading and that kind of thing. So I joined some cool groups and, you know, things that I am passionate about and I like. So long story short, through that, this video popped up from We the Kingdom, and they have just some amazing music going on out there. And the one that I think, you know, really has kind of hit me, you know, recently is this song called Don't Tread on Me. And you think it's going to be political, right? Because of the phrase "don't tread on me," right? That's a political movement that everybody sees and all that kind of stuff. But it really is more about not letting the devil, not letting the negativity overcome you, and telling telling that negativity, telling that evil that you won't tread on me. There's something bigger. There's more positive things that I can do with my life. And that, to me, man, that song, I've been listening to it over and over and over again. When I found the song probably 3 or 4 days ago, and I just can't let it go. When I hear a good song, I love that song. So let me see if I can find the lyrics here real quick. Cause
Cool.
I was, when you were sharing your song, racking my brain on what song that I was going to bring up. And it's just so tough for me, cause I'm so into this group right now. Let me see here. We
Really
the
cool.
Kingdom.
Yeah, it's fun when you find things like that and songs and new stuff, and it's exciting, you know, when you find something you really connect with and you know, draw a connection with. I think that's just an incredible thing.
Yeah, and it's one of those songs that's like one of those old school kind of reminds me of like a Johnny Cash type of feel to it too. You know, it's like a very powerful, very emotional song.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So I'll go through because I think a lot of it just telling the stage about the devil and evil and that kind of thing. But when it comes to the chorus, I'll go through the chorus real quick. But it's just yelling, "Get out of here, get on up and leave. Ain't no devil gonna tread on me. He's choking on the blood that ran down the tree." So to me, choking on the blood of Christ running down the cross, the wooden cross down the tree. Ain't no devil gonna tread on me. So it's just coming back to that. Listen, in our own lives, we need to reject negativity. We need to reject evil. We need to reject the devil, and we need to shout to it to get out of here. Because if you just let it sit there, if you let it work its way, slither its way into your life, it's going to grab hold of you and it's not going to let you go. So you got to tell it to get out, and you just got to be positive, you know, going forward. And sometimes we just got to say, no, I'm done. That's it. It's over. I'm done with this, and move on.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I love it.
that's it, man. It's a great song though. Great song by, like I said, blessed to, have Facebook pop that up on my feed. So
that's really cool. Yeah, I think those are, you know, we'll try to link those below, but those are, you know, all these songs and these groups are really important, guys. And you know, like I said, Tim and I have always been trying to with this show, and you know, we're not looking, you know, this show is for us just like kind of like, I don't know, therapy, I guess, but for a chance to chat with ourselves, but also chat with you guys and learn stuff. So if you guys have things you want to see or songs you want to talk about or want to come on the show, let us know and just, you know, comment below and we'll try to connect with you. We're going to have a couple authors coming up on the show soon that wrote motivational books, and we think that's pretty cool, and want to, you know, talk to them about what they do to motivate themselves and also others and how to, you know, help others and all that. Some things to think about too, you know, this week when you're, you know, doing your normal live and everything, is how can I help somebody else? You know, what can I do a little bit, you know, what can I start doing to help people? You know, after talking with John last week on the podcast, it's apparent that, you know, the more we can do, the better, and don't be afraid to reach out to help people. You know, we talked about that a little bit, and just try to make a change and make a difference in someone's life. I think that's the most important thing you can do. and spread the message, right? Share this podcast if you can, and share it with a friend, get a friend to watch it, listen to it, however you get the feed. But, and then join us for these conversations, and Tim and I, once this following's big enough, we'll start doing these live, and then we can have general conversations with people, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. And we can, feed off each other different comments and questions, and try to help build a better partnership with you guys, and a relationship, a community. That was the word I was looking for. Better community of
better together, man. It's always better together.
Yeah, this is, Tim and I, we have a lot of friends that we share, a lot of the same friends. We're on a lot of the same text feeds. And, when Tim said that, hey, I had to strip myself of negativity. Well, I did the same thing. A lot of those feeds I actually stopped listening to, or even looking at, because a lot of them are political and different things. I really just didn't want to hear about it anymore. It's like at a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just done with that. Like it's over. I don't want to watch any of these news things again. I'm good for a while, right? So yeah. I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm safe. That's all I can care about. My family's good. So, and my friends are good. So that's where I'm at least. So yeah, so make sure you guys check us out online, and definitely subscribe, and hang out with us. That's the biggest thing. Let's do this together. Share your stories as well. I mean, a lot of people have had great motivational stories of getting rid of alcohol in their lives, stop doing drugs. I mean, there's so many different things people have.
Anger, and that was a big one for me, is getting rid of anger. So that, there's stories, and I mean, you're absolutely right, Dave. There's a story from everybody. Even if you don't think you have a story, trust me, you have a story. There's a story to tell. And that's what I would love to hear. Is I love testimony. I love just hearing about people. People love hearing about people and not themselves, and that's, if we can build a community like that, that's just positive, that shares experiences. There's just so much negativity going on in the world that it's just so nice to have you, Dave, and to talk to on a weekly basis. Like you said, this is a little bit of therapy for us, but we hope and pray that this is helping you guys to really overcome some things in your own life, or think about it differently, add some positivity, and we can all grow together. So thank you.